I'm back. I guess I wasn't finished. But anywho, my question is, how can you go by a law or a rule that you don't believe in? Like, doesn't that make you feel like you slaved and you can't speak up for what's right, or you can't speak up for how you feel? Because I see this on a day-to-day basis. We walk around following rules and certain laws that we don't agree on. Now, I'm not saying we get up and we create havoc, but what I am saying is that we can all come together and try to change things, get the laws changed, and being able to do those types of things, we have to learn how to come together and communicate and sit down and write out these things, and we could get it in the right hands, and we could start seeing a change within our communities. The only way we're ever going to be able to see that and be a part of it is if we come together and make it happen. Now, I could sit here and talk about it all day, every day, but I have stuff wrote, I have stuff typed up, everything, that needs to be given to the right person so that they can hear how I feel, not only how I feel, but how others feel. Because I've asked and I've showed, so that speaks volume right there. So if I have 3 or 4 other people that's willing to write some things out, and we all sign it or go over it and we all agree on this, I feel like we can do something. And I say that because I've now experienced what it feels like to go through the justice system with your own child, and how they don't help you the way they should. They don't offer the things that they should. Rather, your child is at the highest crime or the lowest. The thing is everybody should be accommodated for, and parents should be too, because in the end, we are the ones who have to take and endure this type of stress, and it's overwhelming. And some people don't have the mind frame to talk to those type of people in the juvenile system, and they don't understand a lot of parents, because a lot of them hasn't been placed in a situation like that to where they feel our pain as parents and what we are going through. And I know that we are not the only ones that are going through. The whole world is. But here in Fort Wayne, in Allen County, right now, I've seen a lot of mothers go through these types of things that we're going through, and I feel like they don't have our back like they should. Now some parents do things that aren't right, but that's on another level. They can figure that part out. But when you have the parents that are doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, they go against you. They make you feel like you're wrong, like you're not taking things the right way, or you're not understanding. But the whole time it's like, no, we came to you for help. This was our last shot. Do you think we want to involve the justice system in our lives when we already know what could happen? And I'm not saying that all the people that work behind the scene are wrong, but I feel like they're not understanding to the parents' needs and how some of these children act and carry themselves. And it is scary. And how things are going right now, I'm scared for how the next generation is going to be. Like, I mean, for real. I'm puzzled. I'm lost for words on how they don't take this serious, as serious as we do. Now, I can understand because of COVID-19 and what's going on right now in the world of why things are kind of, iffy. But when COVID-19 wasn't in effect, the justice system wasn't pushing for these parents like they should. I mean, man, I know firsthand, and I ain't gonna come on here and act like my attitude was picture perfect and I talked to the people with respect, because I was angry. I did the talking to them with respect and coming in with knowledge and, being there for my child and how they operated things. And in the moment I said that I do not want to do this anymore, boom, they called CPS on me. So I know if I went through something like this, I know it's a host of other parents that has went through a similar situation like this. And they can vouch that what I'm saying is 100% accurate, how the justice system will play you. How you can get locked up for your child's actions because you didn't show up for a certain interview or a meeting. You can get in trouble and be held accountable. Like, it's crazy. They hold the parents accountable to be there for their child, but what about holding the child accountable for being responsible for how they treat their parent? And it goes a long way. It goes a long way. And I am just shocked, and I can't say that, I could have made better, decisions on how I operated things. But I feel like when I came in firsthand and was doing everything the right way, and they turned around and backstabbed me, that's when my attitude came. It's like once I seen that they were not there for me and my child, the attitude came instantly, the attitude came. And I am not ashamed because I'm standing up for what's right. And I feel like our children need to be held accountable for their actions. Period, point blank. If you can get out here and do things that you're not supposed to, you can be held accountable. Why are the parents having to pay for these fees? $400 or $500, certain things get waived, but $400 or $500 is a lot for a child to be acting up out here, and then we have to pay it. Like, what about this child? Like, seriously, a child should be held accountable. They can get out here at an age and carry themselves a certain way. They can get out here and pay their way. They could get in trouble. They need to be on community service. They need to be, for real. Like, I could go on and on and on. How we're following by rules that we don't believe in. How we're able to demand these orders of the law, and these judges are just doing their jobs. I had a judge tell me, sweetie, I don't make the law. We just follow them. So you're a judge and you don't have a say-so, and you know that these kids are carrying themselves the way they are, and you rather continue to put the stress on the parent and not really analyze the situation and see where things are going wrong and get things put in place for these children, like counseling, like they rather put the parent in counseling, drug test the parent, put the parent on all these stipulations saying it's the parent's fault, why the child is like this. Like, what? And nobody listens. Nobody listens. I've heard the judge say, how are you doing, to the child, and not one time asks how the parent is doing, how the parent is feeling. Like, you have to really think. We're the ones taking on the slack. Yes, we chose to have children, or we had children, but we didn't know that our children would take the paths that they have taken. Yes, we once upon a time took those paths as well, but we learned from our mistakes. But back then, the justice system was working with the parents. You didn't have all these rules and laws in place the way they are now, to where you can't even discipline your child a certain type of way. You can't even yell at your child the wrong type of way. You can't even look at your child in the wrong type of way. And they will think that you're neglecting or abusing or abandoning your child. And the whole time is, if you don't want to deal with them, you have to let us parents deal with them the way we know how to deal with them. And that's disciplining them on how they carry themselves, So me personally, I just feel like if DCS and the juvenile system would tighten up a little bit, things could really change. And if they would really take the time to understand these parents that are really out here trying and applying lots of effort, they would understand where we are coming from as parents. And yes, I'm speaking for a lot of us parents, because I've sat in those on those chairs and talked to a host of other parents and got their perspective of how they feel about the justice system and how they're not here. They're not here the way they should be. And a lot of things need to change, because the parents who aren't going through this yet, believe me, it might be a time where you might experience something like this, and it might be a time where you won't. But be prepared for the antics, because they're with all festivities. They're not being 100% with these children. They're not speaking knowledge into these kids. So we could get our children locked away. They're not speaking no knowledge into these kids. It takes some of these staff that really genuinely care for the kids to tell them what it is, especially if they know your parent. You know what I mean? Then they'll give that knowledge. But if they don't know you, they're not, man, they got problems of their own. They ain't sitting down telling these kids how they should carry themselves. They lock them away and keep them there until further notice, or until the parent gets fed up because there's nothing being done. There's nothing, it's not changing. It's not fixing the problem that's at hand. And I feel like the problem that's at hand is that the justice system isn't holding these children accountable for their actions. They could go out here and rob, shoot up houses, steal, kill, break in houses, breaking open cars, egg cars, run away, do things that they're not supposed to on social media, and not be held accountable. But let an adult go out here and commit a crime or commit an act that they're not supposed to commit. We will be held for our actions. That simple, and I feel like things should change. And I'm tired of going by certain rules and laws, and I'm not doing anything about it. So again, if you are interested in writing up a few things, or if you know some people that I might not know that I could get my proposal to, or have a few people sign it or go over it and tell me what they think, and we could possibly change some things and have these kids held accountable for their actions. So by the time that the women that and men that have kids, younger kids now, by the time their kids turn my kids' age, a law would have been changed so that y'all can have a say. Because right now, your kid can go out here and do whatever they want to do, and they have to bring them right back home. And then they could go right back out there and continue to do whatever they want to do, and then they bring them right back home. And then after maybe 16, 17 times, and you got about 30 gray strands in your hair, and you're stressed out, and you anger, and you almost sound bitter, then they might start caring and think you care. You know what I mean? And that's why I say you're better off just raising your child the way you are doing, and make sure that you leave the justice system and DCS and all those other people out of it, because it's not a good sight. It is not a good sight. And I'm not going to sit here and portray, and I'm only holding back certain things because I don't want to violate any rights my rights. I don't want to say anything that might be discriminating to my cause or my situation. So I just want to let y'all know, though, for real, like, really sit back and analyze your children, man. Sit down and talk to them, because I've been doing my best as a mother all my life, and I never expected for things to change, like this. And I'm sure any mother out there feels the same way I feel. We don't expect these things, but what we do expect is that we have support when we finally do reach out for the help, and that's not just with your peers, your family, your loved ones. It's with the system as well. It's with the police. It's with, it's with the people who really can step in and help, and shit, that's really it, So just be careful. Don't call on people unless you sure you want the help that they're going to give. And that's it. I'm Lady V. Peace. Thanks for tuning in.